Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic. 300 to 400 years ago, pirates were a terrifying force to be reckoned with. Now they're family-friendly figures of fun. What will be their modern-day equivalent a few centuries from now? Already started that way, but gangsters and pimps. Already done in South Park, you know what I am saying. Was a pimp for Halloween in 5th grade didn't dawn on me how inappropriate it is till now. The Mafia. The Mafia are already portrayed that way at times. Look at Fat Tony in The Simpsons. I was going to retort, saying that even so the Mafia is still active to varying degrees and although less visible is still pretty terrifying. But then again, the same can be said for pirates. So fair. Narcos, we don't even need a century to know that, just how people idealizes the figure of Pablo Escobar and others infamous narcos in Latin America. I was going to comment this. It has already begun with the romanticizatio of their horrible deeds. They only need Peter Pan or Wacky Races cartoons. Perhaps when drugs become legalized. Yeah, the way they are presented is problematic. At least movies like Sicario show the brutality of the narcos/cartels. If anything, movies covering narcos/cartels should at most do what Godfather 1 and 2 did, where it was more matter of fact than glorification. That being said, I won't fault a movie for glorifying the wealth and excess just like I didn't fault Wolf of Wall Street. Next on ABC Sports, it's the Tennessee Terrorists vs the Indianapolis Insurgents. Assassin's Creed, Jihad. You mean, Account 1. The winner will go through to the final, where they will play the New York Jets. That's like calling a team from Chicago Fire. 2003, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. 2203, Terrorists of the USA, The Curse of JetBlue Airlines. 2011, Pirates of the Caribbean, On Stranger Tides. 2211, Terrorists of the USA, On Stranger Airlines. 2007, Pirates of the Caribbean, At World's End. 2207, Terrorists of the USA, At Democracy's End. Still pirates. With a splash of early 20th century American gangsters. A bunch of shady figures trying to push burnt CD-ROMs inked with movie titles in permanent marker would totally be family-friendly fun. Except when it's a goddamn video capture telepsych and you can hear or see the audience, that's just mean. Hackers. I just love that in 300 years' time there's going to be kids running around yelling hack the planet. He sits at the table and stares at the screen. The numbers, the letters all shaded in green. He types at the keys with a grimace, a grin. He presses the enter. He whispers, "I'm in." Terrifying space pirates. Edit, I don't think I've gotten a single one of these references. Samus Aran has us covered. Always save the animals. Oosh. Who lives in the hood and hustles to G's? Crack rock pusher. Fucks all the bad bitches and smokes that good weed. Pirates are still scary as fudge tbqh. They just look a lot different, Somalians on rubber boats with AK-47s and RPGs rather than Blackbeard. South Park did a really good episode on Somalian pirates and the Somali spoken in the episode is perfect word for word. When little Timmy took a trip and dropped the sail to float, a pirate stopped his tiny ship and claimed his little boat. "But where's your wooden leg?" said Tim. "Your golden teeth. Your hook. Your rotting plank to make em swim. You're missing all the look. You call yourself a pirate, kid?" the boy exclaimed and sighed. Alas, it seemed the pirate did. And Timmy fucking died. La lightsaber terrible. ISIS. Just imagine the irony of Western kids playing with ISIS figurines. I can imagine this conversation in the 1800s. Can you imagine children in 200 years playing with Indians, or pretending to be Indians? And if we go back another 200 years we have witches. There's still seafaring pirates. They just use small and fast boats to raid big container ships, which is why they started patrolling the seas and escorting ships with the naval forces of several different countries. Last I heard of it they pretty much beat them down and are now teaching them and their families to harness local resources to manufacture products and make a comparable living from honest work. Edit, check replies for further context and corrections. This still occurs very commonly. Research ships I'm familiar with that drill the ocean floor for soil samples are outfitted with gun turrets and will not set out on any job without having private armed security, often ex-military, to protect the crew. There have been a few close calls even in recent years. Most of these jobs I have personal knowledge of requiring security, like this was off the coast of South Africa, Mozambique and the Black Sea. I saw it on the Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. That's how I know it's a thing. That's great if it's true. Restorative justice. I don't think all those nations want to be paying the costs of all the defense, after all. Kills a lot of birds with one stone. Bloods and Crips type gangbangers, motorbike gangs, hell in 500 years the memory of people like the Nazis, Bolsheviks, and Al-Qaeda will be such distant memories people might like them. People dress up as Vikings for Halloween. Attila Th Hun was a good guy in Night at the Museum. I now really hope we figure out either consciousness transfer or heads in a jar before I die, if for no other reason than to see the 500-year reboot of Night at the Museum with Osama bin Laden as comic relief / hero of show. Now listen up new guy, ya gotta keep bin Laden away from the aviation section, ya hear me? Laugh track. Also Genghis Khan, who was arguably worse than Hitler, is a lovable goof in Bill and Ted. Do people lose their power when they're made into a joke? I'd argue yes. Gang members, for example. Italian mob, Ms-13, Mexican mafia etc. We're already there with the Italian-American mafia. They haven't really existed, they still do obviously, the way they were in the 70s and early 80s. According to my minimal research, I believe that it was because of the Federal Witness Protection Program launched during the 80s by the government. It enabled many of the members to break omerta and provide crucial evidence in convicting the mafiosis without the fear of any danger or death. Also, it largely reduced the recruitment pool. I would say Putin, but he'll probably still be running Russia. Considering we've been through the same thing with assassins, like the Ashashii, poachers, like Robin Hood, Old West outlaws, mobsters, hackers, graffiti artists and parkour hooligans, I'm betting. People who sneak dogs into petless apartments. Worse, people who don't pick up their dog's poo. No, they will always be reviled. Murderers and serial killers, they'll just be like, oh, we can just use the reviver, they're fine. Remember kids, a real murderer never kills. A real pirate never takes another person's property. Coal miners, industrial food processors, and any other one of Micro's dirty jobs that we will have moved past as a society, either through automation or from transitioning away from those types of fuels and foods. I work in manufacturing and automation is replacing more people than ever. There is a lady who has spent the last 50 years punching serial numbers with a manual press. When she retires, we are replacing her position with a machine. Those sweet-paying factory gigs are a thing of the past. Exporting jobs to other countries will be in the past in the next few decades, I believe. Pretty much. Machines aren't more expensive depending on where they are, except for the maintenance cost / competence, which might be more efficient in the Western world anyway. Saving costs on shipping stuff around though will be golden. I don't know if these will be viewed like pirates so much as they are like cowboys. The rugged coal miner, in his iconic lantern hat, staring stoically over the mountains with his pickaxe sweeping horn music playing in the background. America, in the wild 2000s, when men did jobs. Good ending, militaries. Neutral ending, Islamic terrorists. Bad ending, probably some kind of atom bomb god caveman 2.0 came up with. Military is absolutely not a good ending. Militaries plural. I think the sentiment was that war is over. Good ending being that all military is a thing of the past, and is seen as a film / book trope like pirates are now. Soldiers do a ton of shitty things, and are often deployed in places they shouldn't be for imperialist reasons, but in a few centuries' time, the US military, Nazis, and Russian soldiers will all just be some colorful hat choices when kids play make-believe. Time forgives a lot of atrocities. Hell, 20 years ago when we were learning about the American Revolution in school, most of the kids, in rural Missouri, preferred to play as the British than the Americans. There are already a bunch of Nazi games. Secret Hitler comes to mind. Worst Secret Santa theme ever. Secret Hitler is amazing though. Japan and its army of mobile suits like the prototype they have already made to flip every country off. Whalers on the moon. With their harpoon. But the lack of whales on the moon means they can tell tall tales and sing a whaling tune, making them figures of fun. Clowns. In a couple of centuries we'll have lost our fear of them and they'll be seen as something light-hearted and slightly wacky with their impractical footwear and whatnot. I don't think we should take that risk. See a clown, punch a clown and then push it down a storm drain. I'm a simple man, I see a clown in a storm drain and I run the fuck away. ISIS of the Caribbean. Mommy, I want to be a drone for Halloween. I see Islamic terrorists get romanticized the way the Knights Templar are today. They have huge beards, conviction, and cool names. Easy to make them look cool if you disregard all the bad stuff and weird things they believe in. So the Viking treatment. As I don't really think the stereotypical terrorist looks at all cool, they would have to have their design updated. So yes, the Viking treatment. Give them helmets with I dunno, tornadoes or something. Yeah, they'd make such badass fictional villains. In another time of course. Till 200 years ago terrorists flew passenger planes into 2 Manhattan skyscrapers making them collapse. Top comment. Lol, what an absolute maniac.